Well, hello everybody. So, back today with another request from a channel member, and this one I thought for sure when I first read it, I was like, oh, come on, man, like I haven't recapped that show. And I looked again, and I looked again to make sure, but I have never recapped, apparently. Never recapped. I thought I remember doing it. I don't know. I thought I remember getting jammed up on the whiteboard with My Mind's Got a Mind of Its Own, but apparently not because it was nowhere to be found on YouTube. So here we are talking about December 7th, 1997, the Irvin J. Nutter Center, right here in Dayton, Ohio. Technically Fairborn, but hey, nobody knows Fairborn. People barely know Dayton. So, and what was your favorite part of this show? There's so much to choose from. I know if you hop on YouTube, there's about 150 different channels that have uploaded the AC/DC Bag Psycho Killer, the opening to the show, often thought of as one of the best transitions, like probably in the history of the band. One of my all-time favorites for sure. That combo, those two songs going together. But really what jumped out at me this time, that's the other thing. When you listen to this show, it's almost like there's always something new that didn't occur to me before. And I'm also an AC/DC Bag Psycho Killer transition guy. Like, I'll carry on about that. This whole video could be about how great that was. Just two amazing songs, how smoothly they blended them together. But kind of what gets forgotten and overlooked was the transition from Psycho Killer into Jesus Left Chicago. Two covers, okay? And then we get, while maybe it didn't reach the heights of AC/DC Bag Psycho Killer, like it's not attached as the third song in these 500 uploads here on YouTube, but I sort of don't know why. Like, it definitely belonged. Like, the show's kind of broken into suites, I guess I'll say. Like, that's what King Gizzard fans like to call it, suites. So this opening segment with the AC/DC Bag, Psycho Killer, Jesus Left Chicago, three songs that don't necessarily play together, but all smoothly just blended perfectly together. So that was our opening transition suite. And in my mind, look, a bluegrass number, not unheard of for them to play. Didn't feel very fall of 97, but I gotta say, it's a very catchy, almost like a poppy bluegrass song. So very welcomed, but does feel a bit out of place. But it was only 2.5 minutes, so no worries there. You got to get Mike involved. Mike's a big bluegrass guy, Maybe Mike wasn't in. Maybe Mike was a little like, I don't know about all this funk, guys. We're come on, take around, look look in the room, look in the mirror. Should we be playing funk? Maybe we should stick to bluegrass. So then after that, we get into the It's Ice Suite. Again, this is maybe your favorite moment of the show, if that opening segment was not. It's Ice into Swept Away Steep just seems like such a natural, like Mike's Hydrogen. Like, how do they not do this all the time? Well, I'm glad they don't. It could be a little worn out if they did it all the time. But on this night, it was just like absolutely perfect. And at this point, man, the show had completely taken off. You're midway through the first set, and it's like right as that It's Ice, the part that's open to some improv where Paige can kind of get down. They can do whatever they want with the jam. They decided to go into those two songs and then come back into a proper It's Ice ending. I mean, maybe if there was any tiny little bit of a flaw, like the move back into It's Ice was not completely flawless, like almost everything else was on this night. I mean, it still would have gotten an A. And then you got Theme from the Bottom, which seemed to just sit out there all alone. Like, it didn't need any company. It was Theme from the Bottom. Absolutely. And like this, there was a few songs on the night, this being one of them, where as it's the intensity is rising, you don't even realize it. And then just all of a sudden, you're at the big crescendo of the song. So again, still no light points. And then we get to probably what might be for sure your highlight of the night, the Tube/Dayton Jam. Now, why they stopped, did a countdown, and then went into the jam, and why it's called Dayton Jam, I really don't know. That I've never been able to explain. But you know what? I mean, the Spectrum stuff was also amazing. Very similar to this. But again, hop on YouTube. There's so many videos. There's like customized videos with little kids in Mexico getting down to this tube. I mean, just one of the sickest, funkiest things they've done. Hey, look at that. I made it this far, and I've barely said funk. I'm proud of myself. Slave to the Traffic Light again. Not a very 97 song, but felt right at home here. Closing the first set as we get deep into tour here. A song they didn't play a ton in 97. And, it's kind of hard to lay down the funk there. But what was not hard to lay down was Trey just kind of like soaring over the band there. Ooh, nice Flight reference. Shout out to the Wright brothers. And then we have the second set opener in Timber, which was like maybe if they did any improv, like there was a little bit of improv here and there, you could say, whether it was the Reba jam slightly, But then this was the one that felt more like kind of current Phish. Didn't go too deep, too long. Slightly chaotic. Just a very good timbre. And then again, Trey just kind of as Trey was like wanting to take off. Mike's right there too, kind of keeping him grounded a little bit. Another Flight reference. And then we get into one of my favorite parts of the night. There were so many. The Wolfman's Boogie On. Oh, that telephone ringing, Wolfman's brother. Like a cordless phone from 1992. Nearly got choked up on my own excitement over the telephone ring. A 1992, probably like a Sony cordless phone, sounded like what that was. And then a funked up Wolfman's to go into Boogie On. Now, if there was one song that just felt like perfect for this night, it was Boogie On, Reggae Woman. And busting that one out. And then that was kind of an end to that kind of if the funk dance party really started with that Dayton Jam, and Tube also continued through Wolfman's and Boogie On. And now we kind of got into the crowd-pleasing suite of the night with Reba, Guyute, and Possum. And then, one just outdoing the kind of like theme, Reba sitting there all alone, and that Reba jam Trey just kind of completely taking it to the peak there. Another one, you didn't realize the intensity was going and going and going until like the crescendo just smacks you right in the face. And then at this point, I guess they're just completely feeling it, because I feel like the Guyute was not planned. This deep into the show, you can hear it's audible on the recording. Trey, yells out Guyute. And that just doesn't seem like a song you could wing. But on this night, they were just so tight and on fire. They go into Guyute and just completely annihilate that one as well. And then follow that up with just a rocking out Possum. Not a big, huge Possum fan, but I can never skip this Possum. Just the raginess to it just completely gets me going. Awesome in the car. And then A Day in the Life Encore. Pretty nice choice to end the show. A bit of a calming, but yet crowd-pleasing cover. Had a little bit of it all, kind of like the night itself did. I don't even know if I did this show any justice, but I don't know how many times I've listened to it, but every time, this is still how excited I am when it's over. And part of that is it was played right here in the backyard. If this show took place in Pittsburgh or Philadelphia, I'd probably be like, that's a really good show. Man, so good. I don't know what it is about Dayton. A lot of great shows they've played in Dayton. Obviously, this being the number one. And then this is a top 5 all-timer for me, and as well as many others. If you haven't gotten on .net and given this a 5-star yet, you need to do that immediately. Thanks to John. I believe it was John that made the member request here. Can't believe I had never done this show before. Whew. Well, if you listen to it again, I'm curious what will jump out at you. They did kind of do, I don't know, all right, I've said enough. Boom, we're out of here. 8 minutes in. That telephone ring was something else. That theme just sitting there all by itself when everybody else had company all night long. The It's Ice suite was amazing. That opening segment, including Jesus Left Chicago, some of the best alligator mouse ever. The funked out Wolfman's and Boogie On. That's about the 7th or 8th time I've said some version of funk. That ain't bad. Boom, we're out of here. Love you guys.